In this video, I'm going to talk about listening skills. Listening is the most important communication skill in my view. If you listen and really hear and understand what another person wants, what they think, then you can respond to that and you can help the other person come to their own solutions, you can understand where they're coming from, and you can support them as a manager. There are 4 levels of listening. The first one I call superficial listening, and this isn't really listening at all. Maybe the other person is talking and you're going, yes, but most of your attention is with something else. It's either inside your own head or you're looking at what's going on outside, and that's a form of listening to be avoided. The second form of listening, conversational listening, is the everyday give and take type of listening. So the other person will tell you what they did at the weekend, and then you'll respond by saying, well, that sounds great, this is what I did at the weekend. So your attention is partly with them, but it is also with yourself, your thoughts, what you're going to say next. And for day-to-day, fairly unimportant interactions, that form of listening works well. It's the sort of small talk level. The next level of listening, and the one that you want to be working at as a minimum in your one-to-ones, is active listening. It's active because you are working at trying to really understand what the other person wants, what they think, what they're saying. So more of your attention is with them than with you. And the fourth level of listening, deep listening, is the type of listening you might get from a counsellor or a coach or a trained listener. And you may hit it at certain points in your one-to-ones. So that's when the vast majority of your attention is with the other person. You're really trying to get inside their shoes, seeing how they think, seeing the world from their perspective. So there's a deep empathy there in that form of listening. So, how can you become a better listener and listen actively and even at that deeper level? Well, my belief is that the most important thing is intention. If you're sitting listening to somebody and your intention is to really understand them, that can help you focus your attention on them. So just deciding to listen is a good starting point. You need to start being aware of what gets in the way of listening. So this is a useful exercise to do as you go about your day-to-day work or your non-work activities. Just becoming aware about what distracts you. Is it things happening in the outside world? Is it your own imagination, your thoughts? Where does your attention go? And once you start to become aware of that, then you can take steps to refocus your attention back on the other person. Because once we become aware we're doing something, then we can change it. Another aspect of listening is to allow silence. Now, at the conversational level, there is a bit of a ping pong. You say something, he says something, she says something. But when you're listening actively, try not to rush in when the other person has finished. Give them a little bit more space to articulate perhaps another thought that might be forming. Or wait until they've given you the cue, they've looked at you to kind of indicate they want you to pick up on the conversation. So just allow a little bit more space. And respond in a way that encourages someone to keep going, keep speaking, keep articulating their thinking. So just an example, as in the rapport, you could pick up on some of the words they've said, the ones that seem to be important and have resonance. I find it helpful sometimes, if I'm listening to someone, to just take a few notes about the key words and phrases they use, and that way you can make sure you haven't missed them. So just respond, just ask questions that open up the thinking. Say, can you tell me a little bit more about that? Bring an attitude of curiosity into your listening, that's interesting. Is there anything else about that? So just give that person a little bit more space just to explore their thinking more deeply. And finally, listening isn't just about the words people say. If you can observe body language, observe what lights somebody up, observe if somebody shrinks back a little bit if they say something, that's all really useful information that can help you understand the other person. So in summary, listening is really important. You're aiming for active and, where appropriate, deep listening. Go in with the intention to listen. When you're aware your thoughts are becoming distracted, just bring them gently back, allow silence, and ask questions that encourage the other person to explore their thinking in a little more detail.